afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Sugar Skulls. I'm Pat Parris and joined by defensive back D. Maggitt Jr. Welcome to the show. Congratulations on a great season so far.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, it's our pleasure. Looking forward to the game coming up on Saturday night at TCC at Tucson Arena. There's a big opportunity for you guys, including the ultimate, which is making the playoffs.
Yes, so I mean, in the inaugural season, we were really excited to put on a show for Tucson, and even more excited to possibly get a playoff spot and bring a championship home on the first year.
Yeah, that'd be great. We'll talk more about that as we continue here. Let's start by mentioning what's going on behind you there. A lot of people may not know you guys in some cases have other jobs that you do besides this. When you're not on the football field in the afternoon, you might have an opportunity to make a little bit of money, but you're doing something great with Pasquayaki Club, correct?
Yes. I'm the PE and health director at Pasquayaki Boys and Girls Club out on the reservation near Casino del Sol. It's a great opportunity to work with a lot of underprivileged kids. Give them some male guidance. A lot of them don't have that. And I'm going to have about 10 of them come to our last game for the season.
Great, great. I'm sure that they probably find it pretty cool that some guy who's playing football, professional footballs, also helping them with PE and other life skills, I'm sure.
Yes. All of a sudden, I've converted a lot of them from what they know as football to American football. So we're working on it.
Yeah, and not only American football, but the indoor game, which is quite different than what you played at the University of Hawaii.
Yes, definitely. It's a lot more faster pace. What I like about it is you get to run into a lot of elite talent, guys who play in the SEC, Pac-12. So for me, playing in the Mountain West Conference, which is a Power 5 conference, I'm able to kind of get a second chance to play against guys that I wish I had an opportunity to go against. Yeah,
well, you're making the most of this second chance. 2 times you've been named a Player of the Week. What, defensively 1 time and also with special teams 1 time?
Yes. I mean, just trying to try my best, and I'm glad that I'm kind of getting the accolades for the team.
Well, in the situation you had with the kickoff return for the touchdown against San Diego, you also were Defensive Player of the Week. Couple of interceptions against San Diego. The kick return is actually against Quad City, wasn't it? The first time you guys played them, who you're going to play again on Saturday. What's it been like to kind of get a second shot at the indoor football league as well?
For me, I've always been about competition. I've always been about measuring myself for myself. I don't really focus on competition as much as I used to. I feel like I'm in the prime of my athletic career, and for me, every game is, to prove that I belong. Although opportunities haven't come to the next level, I feel like if I'm able to dominate what I'm currently doing, then that'll speak for itself.
Yeah, and you'll get a shot, perhaps, down the road. You guys had a shot to beat the undefeated Arizona Rattlers last Saturday night up in Phoenix. You were that close, that 50-49 overtime loss. Frustrating, or was it at the same time a good learning experience with confidence building as well?
I think at the time it was definitely more frustrating. I feel as though we are the only team in the league that can match them talent for talent, which is why they have so much trouble with us. And it being a rivalry, I believe the games are, come down to a couple of plays here and there, although the score might not show it. I believe in this game, I think that honestly they showed more championship mentality than a lot of people give them credit for. I mean, when you're up 21 points, that's 3 possessions, which means they had to get 3 stops, and they did. So I think that showed us that what we need to do to be able to close games out against a championship caliber team.
Yeah, and then that's the thing is they are the standard bearer in this league. They're the team you're trying to beat. You guys have a couple of times now come close, but not as close as you did just the other night. Your goal, obviously, coming up Saturday night is to beat Quad City and make it into the Indoor Football League playoffs. What do you remember about Quad City from the first time around, and what do you guys have to do to beat them this time?
I believe what I remember from Quad City is we played very poorly on defense, primarily in the back end. We have a lot of new pieces. Our biggest mistake was giving up big plays. They only ran 29 plays and they scored 70 points.
Yeah.
So if we can limit big plays, which is what we were able to do last week, we'll be fine.
You've gone up against some big-time quarterbacks. Powell's a good one. Hilliard with Quad City is a really top-flight quarterback. What does that change with you when you've got a guy that's got an arm like that and accuracy like that?
I mean, I get more excited. I don't really like playing against running quarterbacks. I love to turn the ball over, get my hands on the ball. So the better the quarterback, the more excited I get. I mean, even if they're not elite or however elite someone may think they are, the receiver still got to get open.
Yep.
So I don't really put too much into how good they are, but I definitely get up for elite quarterbacks.
Well, you went through a little struggle there in April, not winning a game. That had to teach a lot of you guys about what it takes. You've been in this league before, but a lot of the younger guys hadn't been in the league.
Yeah. I honestly didn't even realize we lost all the games in April.
Unfortunately, you did.
That seemed like it was ages ago.
Yeah, it was.
But yes, being in this league or just being a professional has been a learning curve, a steep learning curve for a lot of guys. I don't like to put myself on a pedestal, but once you've been a veteran in whatever you've done, you don't get jitters. You know how to prepare.
Right.
You know, things are easier for you because you put in the work before you even step in the newsroom or on the football field.
Sure.
And I think April was a great learning experience for guys to realize that regardless of where you came from, whether you came from the NFL, came from a D3, you always have to prepare. You can't take anyone lightly regardless of how good or poor you think the other team may be. And I think we're starting to figure that out, which is why we're starting to be closer in games and beat the teams that we should beat.
Yeah, exactly. You're playing your best football for sure at this point. You talk about coming over from other teams. We want to focus now on the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Not only one win away from making history by going to the playoffs in the inaugural season, but a major reason is that coaching staff that decided to take on a new challenge instead of resting on their laurels. Take a look.
And that pass is, the official's going to have to climb into the stands, rule incomplete, and the Barnstormers win the IFL championship.
The end of last season actually marked the beginning of the Tucson Sugar Skulls. In the midst of that celebration, Barnstormers assistant coaches Marcus Coleman, Curtis Chin, and Malcolm Nelson. During the offseason, the expansion Sugar Skulls hired Coleman, Iowa's defensive coordinator, as head coach. And Coleman knew he had to bring Chin and Nelson with him to Tucson.
It's been important to have those two. And plus, you take, Coach Chin, who has head coach experience in this league. You take Coach Nelson, who has, coaching experience, administrative, experience, personnel experience. You get that much experience in the room together. It's kind of hard to go wrong.
You got to find another challenge, I think. I mean, I could have stayed in Iowa, but I think the fire wouldn't have been the same.
Right.
And just to come here, start from scratch, new culture, new players. Got coach guys supporting us. I mean, that was just a no-win. That was a no-brainer for me.
Other teams came calling on Curtis Chin to become their head coach, but he turned down 2 head jobs to become the Sugar Skulls offensive coordinator.
That's the thing with taking a young team like this. You get the bumps, you get the bruises, but when you have coaches that believe in ourselves like we do and what we can put out there on the field and the product we can produce within a year, we're like, so what? It don't even matter.
As a first-year expansion team, the Sugar Skulls can make history by winning Saturday and earning a spot in the IFL playoffs.
We started from the bottom. Now we're at this certain point right now. Let's just see if we can get over the top and be the first team in history to go to the playoffs.
When other people are saying, oh, it's the first year, we looking at each other like, so what? Like, we know what we capable of, you know what I mean? We know our skill set. To be in this position, we'll take it.
And that's a big part of it is that, yes, this is an expansion team, but when you have a head coach that was a defensive coordinator last year for the Indoor Football League champions, and he brings over a couple of assistants, including, the top offensive coordinator last year for the Iowa Barnstormers, you have at least veteran coaches on this staff.
Yes, they've been able to provide some invaluable experience that I will take to me when it's my time to coach.
Right.
And I think this season has been challenging for them as well. I think they've been up for the challenge. Getting guys who haven't been in your system to buy into what Iowa bought into last year. Mm-hmm. I think that part of the reason why we're taking this turn in the right direction we're getting the right guys in here that are willing to listen first. And once you, Coach played 11 years in the league. Coach
Yes,
Chin, he was an IFL legend.
Yep.
Coach Nelson, he's one of the best special teams coordinators I've been around. So, there's information out there, and I think we're starting to grab it.
Exactly right. And you played for the Barnstormers up in Des Moines, 2 years ago? And Marcus is the one that reached out to you and said, "Come play for the Tucson Sugar Skulls."
Yes. I had taken my time off to do some things in my life to set me up for my post-athletic career. And I felt like I'm young. I still have it in me athletically, and I don't think I would have forgave myself if I gave it up before I physically had to retire.
Yeah, you never want to say what if, and now you know that you're giving it one last chance. You've got you've been telling me about a lot of things you've got going on. You have set yourself up pretty well for a post-professional football career.
Yes. I come from Seattle, Washington.
Yep.
And there's a lot of big business around there. There's a lot of people doing a lot of big things. And I just wanted to kind of start my post-career in a place just like this where it's warm and manageable, feasible. And I'm in the process of purchasing a home. I'm working with the Boys and Girls Club.
Yep.
Hoping to inspire youth watching this at Pasquayaki, whoever sees me, things like that. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, it's impressive what you're doing on and off the field. I want to bring these out because this is what the first 3,000 fans are going to get, these Thunder Sticks at the game Saturday night. This is going to make it really. I've been told I have to do this. It's going to make it really loud at the Boneyard on Saturday night. What's it been like to have a first-year crowd kind of grow with you guys and start to learn the game as some of the young players have learned the game?
It's great for an athlete. That's what we live for. I think any athlete would be lying if they said they didn't peek in the stands just to see how many fans are in the stands. Sure. And even through that rough streak in April, they were still right there with us. Whether we're playing a team that hasn't won a game or we're playing Arizona Rattlers, they've been with us through thick and thin. Whenever I wear my Sugar Skulls shirt, it's amazing how many hugs, handshakes, pictures people want to take, and it makes you feel like a real pro. And it just gives you that extra incentive to go out and win for Tucson. Well,
there's a lot of incentive coming up on Saturday night with an opportunity to make the playoffs with the win. Let's show you exactly the time and the place. Obviously, Tucson Arena, Tucson Convention Center, 6 o'clock Saturday night. We'll broadcast it on the CW Tucson as well. Chuck Cecil, the Arizona legend, myself, and Jason Barr will provide sideline reports. It's Quad City, the Steamwheelers, against your Tucson Sugar Skulls. I know you guys have a lot of confidence going into this, D, and it certainly will be a challenge, but one that you guys, I'm sure, are up for.
Yes, we're definitely up for it, and our confidence isn't because we're overlooking them. They beat us the last time we played. We lost our last game, so our confidence is in the fact that if we play the ball we're capable of playing, we're 1 point away from an undefeated team. And so we're not overlooking Quad Cities in any way, shape, or form. We're just excited to be back home. We're excited to put on the show, and we're excited for the great things to come with a win. Yeah, well, that means potentially a deep playoff run, and we're all looking forward to that. Dee, thank you so much for the time. It's been a real pleasure to get to know you and to find more about your career and your postseason career as well. Best of luck on Saturday night, and we'll see you at TCC. Thank you. All right. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Inside the Tucson Sugar Skulls, and we look forward to seeing you on Saturday night.